Okay, so welcome back to today's Market Watch video. Before we get to the Market Watch, I do want to say that I'm still working on the One Piece versus Dragon Ball. I know a lot of you guys are saying, oh, One Piece is the craze and all that stuff, and Dragon Ball is a dead game and everything. Hey, look, I'm going to go through the data and I'm going to explain it. Not in this video, but here's a sneak peek real quick. So, Bandai just released their report, their financial report today, February 5th, okay? This is Bandai's report on their merchandise, their licensing, and their gaming. Okay, so it's kind of all encompassing for everything that has to do with the IP. Okay, so if we look here for Dragon Ball, they made 190 billion yen last year. Okay, now let's look at One Piece, 140 billion yen. Okay, so clearly Dragon Ball outperformed One Piece. That's a very, very big metric mark because a lot of Dragon Ball's revenue comes from digital product, whereas One Piece, we can see right here, right? We go to toys and hobbies. A lot of their revenue comes from toys and hobbies, which means people are buying up the card game to speculate. Okay. Me too. Me too. What is this? OP13, right? I have some here. I got a PRBO2 right here. I got some other stuff that I share with friends that, we split in half with. And I have 3 cases of OP14 coming if the distributors would ever send it to me, right? But let's get back to the point of One Piece right here. Look at the projected forecast, 140 billion. Okay. Now look at Dragon Ball's projected forecast, 140 billion. How is that possible when One Piece is the craze right now? Everything is about One Piece. Oh, there's Netflix shows and the manga's #1 and everything. Okay. Dragon Ball, they didn't have an anime for 6 years. Their creator passed away, rest in peace, Mrs. Toriyama. And they're in a really big lawsuit right now on control and management of Dragon Ball intellectual property. So, it seems like Dragon Ball's the buy here. Do you know why? Is because when this is resolved, okay, when they resolve who gets the rights to continue on the story, continue on content making, I think Dragon Ball skyrockets, okay? Because look at it. Think about it real quick. 27 billion yen is from toys and hobbies out of 140, okay? And look at 140 for One Piece. 95 billion is from toys and hobbies, meaning all these people speculating on box booster cases and everything. Once again, here we go. For everyone saying I'm some kind of Dragon Ball shill. Here, OP13. I bought them because I knew that the manga reds were going to be very good. Okay, here's that. Here's PRBO2. I got OP14 coming. Okay, for everyone saying this is just a reminder. For this 95 billion yen, people are buying up boxes just to speculate. There's no organic, natural love for One Piece. And if people do tell you there's organic love, they're loving the opportunity to resell to somebody else, okay? Those people at trading card shops and everything playing with $50, $120 decks, they're not the ones inflating this 95 billion. It's not that kid ripping packs. Oh, we're joining the hype in One Piece. Look at all these people at the community shop. It's not him. Okay, it's guys, I guess, like me. Guys, there's a lot of channels out there. There's a lot of people that are, hoarding this stuff and no one's saying anything. And this $95 billion is where they're getting their money. Okay, now my point is that when the doors close, people want Dragon Ball, right? They want the digital content that they can interact with and play. Look at this, only 27 billion. So when Bandai takes One Piece format, the TCG format that's very, very good. It's the winning format, One Piece, right? We have to say that. When they take that format and push it into Fusion World, because the games play almost the same, they're very close. What do you think happens when the IP is more naturally loved, like Dragon Ball, right? Everybody wants to see Goku and the Z Fighters. Luffy, the Pirate King, or Luffy and the Pirates. A lot of people are kind of trying to get into it because of the opportunity with the TCG and potential buyer's fool theory. Okay, a greater fool is what they call it. So this is just a quick little sneak peek on what I'm working on. Let's get to the market watch. Okay, so I think one of the biggest hitters from a couple days ago, right? Because we skipped a couple days for the market watch. This is the Black Label, right? The God Rare from FB01, and look at that. On a Black Label, it's a little bit nicer. I'd say the Black Label adds this like a depth to this color. And I just wasn't really that big of a fan of this card, but I think the Black Label really helps. Not the fact that I know that's more expensive, but something about the black kind of like holds it down so the other colors are vibrant. Now, when I first saw this, I didn't think it was 10,000. I was like, no way, right? No way. And then when I checked the price right here, look at 10K. It's Like, hey, look, as much as this is great, hey, things need to kind of slow down a little bit. It's getting a little out of hand. I understand. There's not a, you know, you already know there's not a lot of these, but to just straight up pay like out of the gate pay 10K. I mean, I guess the biggest thing here is that it's, you know, out of the first set of Fusion World. So okay, and this one, I think is I think it's pretty average, right? So 25.99 for the FB05 God Rare from FB05. Okay, and I think this artwork is okay. I'm not the biggest fan, but it probably changed my mind if I saw it in person. And I think this is a pretty average price, right? 25.99. I would have thought. Oh, sorry. I would have thought that you'd get kind of a deal. Like can you ask him for 1,800, and then he comes back a 24, and then you can try to get low 2000s. But I guess if you're a fan of this, right? If you really like this art and you see the PSA 10 with low pop, then I guess paying full price is fine. Okay, and this one, right? The same thing as the first one as a black label, but just a pristine 10. And look at that. That is almost a 5x just for the difference of a black label, right? Let's see. Yeah, same card. FBO1. Yep, the FBO1. Super secret art. God Rare. I think this one's kind of a deal. If this guy was able to get it in the mid 1500s, it's kind of like, okay, that's still, I guess that's still fine. But to get a 5x on black label, I mean, that's crazy, right? Just the just the centering, point 5 of a centering is the difference between 1785 or $10,000. Man. All right, moving on. Okay, and this one is the same thing, right? FB0. Oh no, it's not. This one is the regular secret alt art, black label, and there was no way, right? I saw this, like, oh no way, it's 2,000. Then when you look, cut in half, 1,000. I mean, like, even at 1,000, that black label is really carrying the price here, because it's an okay art. FB05 is a mid set to me, but if you like this pose again, you know, paying $1,000 for a black label for it to be like your grail, you know, more power to you. And the Broly, this one is really, really popular. The best Broly, right, in Fusion World. Where is the price here? Okay, here we go. Price is at $25.50. This is pretty good. $25.50 isn't too bad too for what I would consider the best Broly. And also, you know, pop at 72. Very nice. Very nice. It would have been better if it was like 1,500, but can't win them all. Okay, and the typical Goku that we see every day, right? This one's really interesting. A Japanese seller, but selling an English one. This one looks pretty good. I mean, like, you can never tell over the internet. You can never tell with pictures. You can never tell with video. You just have to see it in person. So far, so good, right? Yeah. I mean, there's maybe a centering issue just ever so slightly in the back here on this right side. Huh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably pretty clear that it's a centering thing. But I mean, for what, $1,200 for a raw copy? Take your chances at PSA, or just keep it raw and just enjoy it. Okay, this one, whoever got this, oh, hats off. Such a good deal. Whoever picked this up, whoever sniped this deal, you are super good. Look at this. Look at this. Dual Evolutions pre-order only for 2K. So you beat the market, right? This is, yeah, see that? You want to be a stock trader? You want to be a quant trader? This guy beat the market right here, if we want to use those terms. Very, very nice pickup. You were able to pick it up for a lot less than last sold on TCG Player, right? What is that? Like, he saved 30%, 40%, something in that range. Hats off to you, sir. Good job. Okay, next. We just talked about this. The SB01023, the Ultra Alt Art, or what I think is the a ghost rare, right? Even though there's a 2-star here, right? And TCG Player says it's a super, and Beckett PSA says ultra, and so does Dragonball. So I still think this is much harder than people think to pull. But this guy got it at a pretty good deal, and it was 35.50. So there is a solidified floor now for this card at that $3,000 to $4,000 mark. So if you're still interested, I don't know how many opportunities are left. I haven't checked yet, but I'm still under the assumption that this is kind of that hidden rarity, which is why Dragon Ball calls it the Ultra Alt Art and not Super when they advertise it. Okay. Here is the other Broly. This one's a raw, going for $1,000. So just about right for current market conditions. And look at this one. This one was very interesting. This is a 1 to 12, right? Let's see. Yeah, 1 to 12. So he has a 1 to 12 set for $6,000. And I predicted he'd get cut in half. It's like, no way. And you're not, 1 to 12 is nice, but so many of these are just not desirable, right? You got the cooler, the Ginyu, obviously. And I think the next ones that weren't desirable was like Android 18 and Beerus. But the ones that really hit are obviously first three. Goku's probably the last one. It's like Broly, Vegeta, and then the Gohan. And to pay 6,000, like no way, right? And then look at this, 6K, bro. That's too much, man. Cancel your order, man. Just pick the one that you like, and put your money in like maybe sealed products or something. But hey, look, I don't want to tell you what to do. If you like the fact that you can get all 12 from this guy, and you want to pay 6,000, then okay, more power to you. Hope you enjoy the collection. Okay, and this one spiked way too, not way too fast, but like, yeah, okay, you know what? It did spike way too fast because now you're asking for $599, and we have a clear floor here at like 200, 250, right, to that 350 mark, and it's obvious to see why, because this kind of gives you that 2-in-1. It gives you that Pokemon feeling a little bit, and it has Goku on there, so you're getting kind of a 2-in-1 with the Dragon Balls around here. Like, a very nice card. But man, this is just went up way too fast. So, okay, and this one I think is a really nice card. Still, maybe pick up a bowl, right? If you can find one on eBay or something for 30 bucks, 25 for a best offer. I think this is really nice. I have one somewhere. I think I put it in my binder, but I have it somewhere, so I plan on maybe grading mine. We'll see. But I think this is really good. For under 50 bucks, if you can find it for even less, I'd say this is a good pickup. Okay, and here is the same Son Goku GT that we just talked about for $415. So, it's really approaching that $400 to $500 mark now. This one, it was this one. Okay, so look at this. Someone bought a Japanese SR, right? A Japanese SR Goku from the SP02 for $69. And then look, you can get it on TCG Player for $1. Like, man, what are you doing, bro? Like, I understand this artwork is cool. Okay, hold on. Here, look. I showed it already a couple weeks ago. To show it again. It's the same card. I have it because I opened up a couple boxes of SP02. Like, I paid I didn't pay anything, but you can buy for like $1. Just buy like, I don't know, 50 of them if you want. Buy 20. See which one's the best. Send it in for Beckett PSA. But you don't need to do this. You don't need to spend 70 bucks on a regular SR. Okay. And this one's really interesting. All right, we saw already in the last video or 2 videos ago that this one in a CGC slab is very beautiful. And look at this. It went from somebody asking for 1,000 all the way down to 400. So we're returning back to somewhat normal prices of that 150-ish mark, right? So if this guy doesn't sell, maybe somebody else comes in and says 250. Or maybe they really want to sell, get back down to here, right? Get back down to that 175, and maybe someone will pick it up. But, I still think at 400 bucks, with this thing being pretty, this is recent. This is a new thing. This spiked up way too fast. So just wait it out. Make sure that these guys keep pushing the price down. And when something gets acceptable for you, go ahead and, pull the trigger on it. And this one's very interesting, FB08. It's very stable. Like, look at this, 130, 130, 145. This is a very stable set. And I think this is good for Fusion World as a whole because you don't want to see everything go parabolic. You kind of want to see some slow, steady growth. You want people to kind of like dip their toes in it, right? They're not just going to go from Pokemon to whole 10K Black Label. That doesn't happen. Right? If someone is new, they want to consider this card game. They like the art. Maybe they watched some Dragon Ball when they were younger. They have to dip their toes in, right? So the 140 for some pretty good cards. I like Saiyans Pride. There's some pretty good cards in here. I have a lot of these cards at CGC coming back, by the way. Especially this. I'm really excited to see what this one grade for me. But look at this. Even this one went down. There was like asking for hundreds. Now they're asking for 80. And if people kind of just wait a little bit, there's going to be more undercuts. People are going to want to take some profit, and you're going to be able to save 20, maybe 30% more. So just keep waiting, and there'll be a lot of buying opportunities. And I think that concludes today's Market Watch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.